Okay, happy Monday, guys. Great to see you. So I have my mom here and we couldn't find two chairs of the same height. So that's why we look like this. So it is what it is. We're both here. But we're getting between 0 and 1.5 feet of snow tonight. I don't know. So we're hunkered down together because my husband and her husband, my dad, are in Israel. So we're like, we better team up and combine forces. Anyway, long story to explain why we're both here on the same Zoom, but it's great to see you guys tonight. Okay, so 8 to 12 inches. Yeah, Alicia in the Northeast. Wow. And probably Jamila, right? Getting a lot of snow in New York, I'm guessing. Don't know. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? We'll see what happens. But tonight is kind of open format. And so like once a month or once every other month, what I would love to do is just kind of have more of an open format call, because it seems like we always run out of time, right? Like we do, our business builder calls, there's always a lot of great conversation, and then we just always run out of time. So I'm trying to have, every now and then just kind of an open call where we can share like what's working, what's not working, what challenges are you facing, what are some objections maybe you're coming up against, that we can kind of do some group coaching around. So it's not like that I have to have all the answers for you guys, but we can teach each other. We can learn from each other. Sometimes, someone is doing something that you guys could share that would benefit the whole group. So that's what I would love to do tonight. So as you kind of get your wheels turning and maybe think of some things you'd love to share, I will just give us a couple of reminders and announcements. So the first thing is that if you guys have been on our team for any length of time, you know that like with different holidays, we love to do like team building Zoom calls, celebrations, like we've done Valentine's and St. Patty's Day. So we are going to do that next week. Our Monday night call next week is going to be for everybody. It's not going to be business specific. And we're going to do a spring fling. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be St. Patty's Day focused, but just spring fling. We are going to just do like fun giveaways and games. And so that is a great opportunity to invite all your customers, like happy customers. It does not have to be someone who's working the business. It's just like a customer appreciation, team building, kind of give people a taste for what we're all about, and that we love to have fun, and that we are a bunch of super awesome, fun ladies. Okay. And a few gentlemen, but mostly ladies. So be inviting. I have a graphic that I'll put in our chat right after this call, so you can send out, and it's just going to be a great time. I will give away some Plexus swag. We'll do some like trivia and games, and that'll be super fun. So wanted to let you guys know about that. And also last week we talked about our April wellness challenge. And so I've seen you guys posting about it. I have seen so much interest, so much engagement, and maybe that's something we can talk about tonight. Like this is a topic that people are very drawn to. So we're doing a 30-day anti-inflammatory challenge. I have been shocked that as I'm posting about this, people are like, I want information. Talk to me, like what's going on. I want to do it, because that little term anti-inflammatory is really grabbing people's attention. So I just wanted to encourage you. We still have almost an entire month before we start, because we're going to start on April 10th. I did rebrand the group. So we're using the Reset Me Facebook group. It's rebranded. It's now called 30-Day Anti-Inflammatory Challenge. New cover photo, but same group. So we have like over 300 people in there. Great opportunity to just go through the members list of that group and see like what friends you have that are already in there that you've already invited. And it's really simple. They just need a triplex order, or reset and triplex if they want to start with reset. And it's a great opportunity to engage with previous customers as well as new people, right? New conversations. So I just wanted to encourage you guys that over the next month, like make this your strategy, right? Like we talked about this a little bit last week. We can kind of be all over the place with different promotions and things. Have a singular focus of just using this 30-day challenge for your posts, for reaching out to prospects, to engaging with your current team. Like it is a whole strategy. And as I was thinking about this, I was reminded of something Kristen Boss said, that, when she is promoting, like she does different classes and webinars and trainings and stuff. And when she has something new coming out, that is all she posts on her social media for like weeks leading up to it. And she talks about that as a strategy. Sometimes we think, oh, my audience is getting sick of seeing me talk about anti-inflammatory stuff. They're actually not. What's happening is it's actually starting to make sense. Like you're telling a story. And a lot of times we think we're talking about it way more than we actually are. Okay. So I feel like for the past several weeks, it's all I've talked about. I went back and looked at my posts. I've done 6 posts that somehow mentioned it. That's not that many. And in my mind, it was like, oh my word, I haven't talked about anything else. It's not that many. And actually, the more I post about the same thing, the more my audience is starting to get it. And yeah, like Victoria said, they're starting to like build belief. You stalked my page, Stephanie. I love that. We can totally share post ideas. Anything I use, you feel free to take and modify, but you're telling a story, you're engaging with your audience, and it's starting to make sense with them. And the way Kristen Boss explained it, she's like, if you're talking about something like, I have this challenge, and then all of a sudden it's like, here's my kid in a tree. It's actually super distracting, right? And your audience is like, wait, I thought you were doing this. And now like, here's your kid in a tree. Doesn't mean you can't post about your life, but when you scroll and look through your feed, your page, if you're inviting people to a challenge, it is not overkill to have it come up like several times. It's actually building belief. So we have a board, which if you guys don't have the boards app, it's really helpful, where there's some post ideas that you can tweak, but basically letting people know like, hey, you can make healthy swaps that will reduce the inflammation level in your body. You know, inflammation is a silent killer. Here's some diseases that are connected with it. You don't even have to say plexus. You're just educating people on gut health and anti-inflammatory nutrition. So, just wanted to encourage you guys, make it a whole strategy, post about it, talk to your prospects about it, export a list of your level 1s. For those of you that have a customer base, like I just exported it. So it's in Excel. I'm going to go through and invite every single one of my customers, even if they haven't ordered from me in months. Who knows, right? They may be looking for something. They may want to reconnect and do this challenge with me. So invite everybody. If you have a team chat, it's a great opportunity to pop in there and invite. So just make it your whole strategy. It will honestly give you so much focus. For me, it's very like energizing to have clarity around what I'm doing, because sometimes we're just like all over the place with our business. So this can really, really move the needle for you guys this month. So any questions about the upcoming challenge before we kind of just open coach here? Yes, Steph, go ahead.
I have a question. If our customers are already in the 30-day anti-inflammatory challenge and we reach out to them and they say they don't want to do it, do we just leave them in there? Do we take them out? What do you suggest we do?
I would say it's totally up to you. I think that when people stay in, it can be belief building, right? Because they'll like, it might get them re-intrigued to start at some point. And because it's not a kind of challenge where you had to like pay to get in and like certain people are getting prizes, I think it's totally fine for them to stay and be a fly on the wall. But I would leave that up to you.
Okay.
To do either way. Yeah. Good question. Any other questions about the challenge group? We're starting to come up with content for it. It's going to be great. And just so you know, like all the different people that help with this challenge, like it's a team effort. It's not just me. It is like so many of you on this call, you know who you are, who have reached out and are willing to help. We're going to be educating about sleep, stress, movement, healthy swaps. Like it's going to be really great and hopefully be a great launching point for people that want to make a change and are not really sure how to start, right? Because that can be intimidating to like overhaul your diet and eat anti-inflammatory. So it'll be really good. Okay, so I am going to open it up. Does anyone have either something that's working that you would love to share? Let's start with that. Anyone have, and I love Victoria shared something with me. She said we have roses and thorns, right, in our business. So things that are just like blooming, blossoming, that we love to share, like the roses. And then we have things that feel difficult or challenging, and those can be the thorns. So does anyone have a rose that they would like to share? Something that's working for you?
Okay, I have one.
Yeah.
So for the first, after many, many months of suggestion, I'm literally sitting here with my obnoxious, big, you know what board.
Yes.
We're on the team and I'm taking notes. Like I just wrote down, go through the members of anti-inflammatory groups so I can make comments and invite them. But I put 3 people on my board to start, and I've already gotten 2 out of those 3 people to re-sign up. And one is new and one is a 6-month out re-sign. So I'm going back through old customers.
That's fantastic, Danielle. And how does it feel to your brain to have that board and like have
So
a game?
good.
So good, right?
Because I'm like, So in certain parts of my life, I'm very OCD, and other parts I am like totally type B. Yes. Okay. I love it. Love it. And like the teacher part of me really wanted to make a lesson plan and like have a plan. And I do feel so much better about that. Now I haven't gotten to the point where I've planned out all of my posts and all of my stories and all of that, but we'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. We both need to hang our boards
Baby
now,
steps.
but we're getting there. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, I mean, it can take a long time because there's a lot of resistance around being organized, right? Like it just feels hard sometimes, but then when you actually do, it's amazing how just writing things down wherever, whether that's a planner or your phone notes or whatever, when you just unload it from your brain, your stress level goes down, because part of that like anxiety and stress is that feeling of like, I have to keep it all in my head, right? And that's super hard. Like no one can do it. But as soon as you get it out, you're like, oh, okay, it's manageable. So I'm proud of you, Danielle. Anybody else? What's working for you this month?
Okay, so I'm literally going back to people that I talked to when I first started. And one of them just signed up last night. It's funny. I actually gave the information to this girl over the weekend. She said, yeah, she's interested. I talked to her last summer about this. She was supposed to sign up like 70 times and hasn't.
Right.
So she's like, yes, I really want to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the information now that you can share a link. Super easy. Send it to her. She had an issue. She's like, what do I put here? I couldn't get back to her right away. So when I finally did, she ghosted me for the whole like 24 hours. I woke up this morning to her saying, hey, I finished it. And I'm enrolled, like her order and everything went through. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Like, this is amazing. But just going back to those people from a long time ago, and I'm really getting a good response. I'm in a lot of good conversations. So don't hesitate if they've told you no, literally 50 to 100 times, because people that have told me no or ghosted me that many times are actually saying yes and doing it.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's a great feeling to see that order finally go through and be like, after all this time. That's awesome. Never give up on people. Anybody else? What's working for you, or what wins can you share?
I just want to piggyback real quick off of what Danielle and Nicole said, actually. But like, okay, in December and January, I wrote down, I had people's names that I wanted to reach out to and really just pour love and energy into them. And I developed a silver and added 3 people both of those months. But last month, I did not do that. And so I just felt like I was still loving on people, but it wasn't, I was just kind of all over the place, if that makes sense. And so I love writing people's names down. And I don't know, I feel like it's so beneficial. And like you said, it takes the guesswork out of it. So I love, Danielle, that you did that. And Nicole, yes, I agree. You never know. I feel like in my 5 years of doing this, people like it just that comes around. So keep doing awesome job, ladies.
Yes. Yeah. Having those names in front of you keeps in front of mind. Definitely. Do you want to say what you were going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say in-person events, like just getting together for 1 hour at Panera Bread last week. We had 3 people and 2 signed up, and Tina will hopefully go silver this month. She has someone else that's interested she's talking to this week. So just that short amount of time together, but face to face and sharing. It's like so important.
Yeah, in person. Who has an event on the calendar for this month or has already done one? Nice. Yay. Tabitha, I see that hand.
So I just wanted to say, like, I know that people always say, like, just, keep posting, even if you're not getting engagement and stuff like that. And I really feel like this month, that has come true for me. Like, I've had a couple people reach out to me, and I and they're just like, hi, I just have been watching you, or like the one girl, I asked something and she's like, oh yeah, I know, because I see you do that. And like, you know what I mean? Like they just because they don't respond or they don't engage or they don't even like any of my posts, but then they reach out and say something like, I have another girl that messaged me tonight and she's like, so what's this drink you're always talking about? Like, so, so, I mean, even like if you're having days where you really feel like, oh my God, I have no engagement, like no one is even watching me. I feel like I'm annoying everyone. Well, guess what? People are paying attention, and I just really noticed that this month for me. So
Yes, it's so true. It's so true. The one person that I've signed up, new customer this month, is my old boss's boss, like high up. Like I have so much respect for this woman, and like must just have been stalking my stuff. Like you're saying, like no comment, no like on anything, you know, like not on my radar as
Right.
someone that would have been interested, but you never know. You never know who's watching you. And sometimes I watch for a long time, a very
right.
long time. But when the time is right, they know where to find you, because you posting is like showing up like, I'm still here. I'm still doing this. I'm still here.
Yep.
Right. It's so important to just remove the like emotional attachment to the result, right? Like it's when we get like really hyped up about like, oh man, I just put myself out there. What are people going to think? That if no one comments, it's like, oh, just take it down, just delete it. But when you're like, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm putting out there. If people want it, great. If they don't, that's okay. Like I'm still showing up. When you can remove the emotional attachment to the result, you're just there for it and people know where to find you. Like that's the key to consistency sometimes. Yeah, Steph said, hold on to these stories because sometimes I feel like I post for no reason. Yeah, but you never know. There's those social media stalkers that, I mean, not in a bad way, but they never post or engage, but they're just watching. They're just, you know, they're seeing if you're going to be consistent. And then on a random day, they'll reach out to you. That's exciting. Anybody else want to share something that's working?
I have been more consistent with birthday samples, and I feel like I've sent out like 8 to 10 in the last like 2 weeks. So that has been kind of exciting. And now it's just like conversations with people. And I have really thought through like, okay, just message everyone, even those guys that you're like, they have not, like, they're not gonna be interested. Like, one of them, I was shocked. I was like, wait, like he's a dad, he's a pastor, like he's in ministry. He's like, I'm always looking for like ways to have clean energy. And I'm like, oh, duh. Like, what? I don't know why we like think through them, and we don't always reach out to all of the guys, but do it because seriously, they are looking for like ways to support their health. So maybe it's a stick of active instead of a pink drink, you know, maybe that's going to reach out to them a little bit better. But I just found that was like a good reminder to not like prejudge people and just send the birthday sample. The worst that they're going to do is just say, hey, thanks for wishing me a happy birthday and move on. So.
Right. I love that. That's awesome. And that's a system, right? Like not prejudging, going through every day, sending those birthday messages and offering a sample. That is a system. That's why it works. Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to ask you guys another question. What are you currently doing to expand your comfort zone? Tabitha, go ahead.
For me, it's definitely has to be the, you know, the sip and shares, in person. And also, the messages for me, like I can post all day, I can do videos, I can do stories, I can do whatever. But the hardest thing for me is like the messaging, like reaching out to somebody, especially if I haven't talked to them in a while or anything like that. That is the hardest thing for me. And I literally send the message and then I'm like, like I can't even, because I just think that it's going to go wrong or they're just going to ghost me or whatever. And I don't know why I care. I just need to get over it.
Okay. So you're doing it anyway, right?
Doing it anyway. Doing it. I'm going through my list alphabetically right now. So I'm just going down every single person on my whole friends list.
And Alicia said she's the opposite. She could message all day, but posts are hard. Isn't that funny? Like we all have something that feels really difficult and we feel a lot of resistance towards. A lot of times that's the thing that's going to move the needle for you, right? Like the thing that you don't want to do is the thing that we really need to do. Victoria says, get stuck in relationship building. Yeah. So sometimes just messaging more effectively for me, what feels hard is like making an ask, right? Like I can message all day, but same as Victoria saying, I can kind of get stuck. I have to remind myself, like, you need to make an ask. Like, did you ask them yet if they want to try fixes? Like, you just have to make the ask.
Yeah, I have a harder time with the relationship building part of it because I
Okay.
feel like they know why I'm there. So I'm just like, I
Mhm.
feel like I'm more upfront about it. And then I'm kind of like, maybe I should have worked on it a little bit harder. Like I was watching Bree Coolidge's, I don't know if I said her name right, but her live the other day, and she was talking about how you really like the recruiting, the relationship building is so important. And I was listening to exactly what she was saying, and I was just like, I don't know if I do that well. Like, like I really need to work on that better. So
Learning and growing.
I feel like
Mhm.
because I'm not a small talker in real life, it's even harder for me to do over messaging. Like I don't need to like spend 10 minutes just asking, like the silly questions. In my mind, they're silly. I'm like, I want to get to the nitty-gritty. Like, what are you doing? Like I struggle with the small talk.
Yeah. Sometimes I do just like tell the person like, hey, I was thinking of you, and I go right into like, the products or the business or whatever. And then if they're not interested, then I relationship build, right? So it's not like, oh, well, you're not interested, so I'm moving on. It's like, okay, like that's totally fine. Like, how is your family? Like, and then kind of go from there. And it's amazing that sometimes once you've kind of built that comfort and conversation and they realize, oh, you haven't just ditched me because I'm not interested, then they're more likely to trust you. So I think it's just kind of knowing like who you're talking to and also your vibe. Like, right, Danielle, if you're not a small talker and you're like chatting me up, I'm going to feel weird. I'm like, oh, why? That's not Danielle, right? You just have to be authentic.
Danielle, I was the same way. And I always start with products first. Like I want them to know why I'm here. I'm not going to ditch them though if they say no. And like that is like a huge part of it. And then I just feel so much more comfortable. And if they just still don't want to talk to me, then that's fine.
Yeah. I love that. Anyone else? Maybe one more thing. What are you doing to expand your comfort zone? In-person events, messaging, posting. Yeah.
I kind of have it easy with in-person events because I've got the expert right here. So when we were started, like, tell everybody, thank you so much for coming. And Brittany, tell us about Plexus, and then I was like, whoa, I didn't have to do anything. And this last one, actually, Brittany said, you need to stop defaulting to me so much and tell them your story because they're my age, they're premenopausal or menopausal, and I can relate to them so well. And this last one I actually did.
You did.
I did. Yeah.
So I'm like, don't you kick it to me. I'm just here to smile. You're gonna do the talking. You did a great job. And 2 people signed up. So there you go. You don't even need me.
I do.
Yeah, awesome. Getting outside your comfort zone. Okay, we have like 4 minutes left. So last question to discuss is let's share something you're grateful for in your business. Should be an easy one, right? Something you're grateful for.
People's trust. I just still can't believe how people trust you. Like, Kim, what would you do? I'm sure you all feel the same way. Like they come to you and then they come back to you like, this isn't working. What would you do? And that's an amazing part of this business.
Yeah. Yep. Steph said, God, I agree. I feel like everyone on our team, everyone that ever comes to me, talks to me is a divine appointment.
Yes.
Right? We don't run into anyone by accident.
And that's so true. Like today, when I messaged someone, she was going to sign up on Saturday and she didn't. And then she went to work today and heard from 2 people that they didn't like the products and they didn't work for them. So now she's not doing it. And I had to sit back and I'm like, okay, how am I going to respond to this? And I sent it to you guys, but thinking in my head, I'm like, would I have wanted her to sign up and then heard that and have her think, well, these really aren't working when they are, and then drag her along? Like that would be horrible. So I just like was really blunt. I'm like, it depends on the person. And if you work it, it'll work for you. And if you don't, then you're going to still be struggling a year from now. And, not so many words I said that, but But just being okay with that answer and knowing like she needs to come around on her own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great perspective.
I
Tabitha.
literally,
Oh, I'm
oh,
sorry.
sorry.
No,
I was
good.
just gonna say, I literally just had that conversation with Kristen today. I was like, I only want people on my team that want to be here. Like last time, like when I was building before, I felt like I was just like pushing and pushing for the wrong reasons. And I think this time I'm just like letting it happen, and I'm posting and educating and letting people come to me, still going for the ask as much as I can, but I definitely have changed my perspective.
Mhm.
So
It feels better, right?
it does. It definitely does.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Tabitha, I'm so grateful for all of these people too. I think our community is really, really special. So agree with that 100%. And Victoria, okay, what do you have to share?
Okay, just real quick. So I know that a lot of times we can get focused on ranks, right? The next rank, what is it? And sometimes we can lose sight of being grateful for every single point. But like Britt and I were on a call with Alita I don't know if you watched it yet. Did you watch it yet, Brittany? Okay.
Yeah.
It was so good. She's like, you guys have got to be grateful for every single point in your back office. She's like, every single one. And it just like blew me away and was very convicting, because I was like, yeah, you should be so damn grateful. Like for every single point in there. And she's like, every single dollar you've ever earned for Plexus. She was like going on and on. I'm like, you're right. Like, because sometimes you just get so caught up in that gap that like Kristen Boss talks about, and like you're where you are now to where you're going, but you forget to look back at how far you've come. And even what did Krista Deary say? Like, if it takes you, let's say 5-6 years to get to diamond, right? There's only so many rank ups that you can get. That's not a lot of months that you're going to be ranking up. It's going to be 9. Yeah. 9 months out of whatever, 5 times 12. Okay. And I was like, that is so like, it's all perspective. Right. And so just really focusing on that. And obviously everything you guys said, I'm grateful for too. But, I just like Alita just like, oh, like just got me right in the heart. I was like, that is so good. So
Yes,
good.
exactly. Right. Because those points, those are people that, yeah, that are trusting you, that are on our team, that are an opportunity for us to connect with and love on and serve, right? It's not just numbers. And yeah, you will only rank up 9 times in your whole Plexus life. So we had better learn to celebrate and be happy about months we don't rank up, or else you're not going to last very long, right? Like there's only 9, and every other month is not going to be a rank up month. Some months will be growth, some months points will go backwards, and that's okay. Like we are here for the long term. We're here to serve people, and there's so much to be grateful for, even in months where it feels hard. All right, ladies, any final thoughts? I loved this. This was great.
Mine is totally like not related, Brittany, but I just wanted to share, if people haven't been doing the book studies, I went back and listened to the one from Phil Jones on exactly what to say, the book. And it was an hour, and I sat here and like was glued to it for an hour. I was like, this is so good. Just, I don't know if it was like his voice. It was just like so good to go back and listen to it. And I'm pretty sure it's free on Hoopla, which is like a library app. And I think you can even find it on YouTube, like him reading it. So just wanted to put a plug in if you're like, I don't know what to read next or where to go. Like those are really helpful. So
yes,
I found it.
Thank you. And the next one's coming up. I think it's on Saturday, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what day it is. Sorry.
I know today's the 13th. I think the next one's on Saturday. So they are on the Plexus Ambassador community page. Even if you didn't read the book, just go listen to the talk. Like it's free. It's awesome that Plexus does it. It's a great thing to send your customers. Like it's a book club. Who doesn't love a book club? And they get the author on there. Like it's fantastic. So thank you for that. That was a great reminder. Okay, with that, guys, I will let you go. Don't forget, next week is our Spring Fling fun call. Let's load it up. Let's have like 50 people on Zoom. It'll be super fun. Grateful for all of you. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.